Welcome, everyone, to another episode of S&P's Ask Us Anything. As you can see, I'm back in Plantland, so I'm here, your host, Matt Duffy. I am joined by the lovely, the amazing Christian Rivera. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, thank you. And yourself?
I'm doing quite well, thank you for asking. So for those that have not seen the show yet, this is where S&P employees submit questions that are just burning inside of them to their other coworkers. And Christian has been selected for episode 3. We're very lucky to have him. He's excited. Look at that. Look at the excitement on that face. So he has not heard any of these questions before. Of course, these are anonymous because some of them, wow, these are the ones we're just allowed to that are still PG, if you know what I'm saying. I think before we even get into that, Christian, could you give a little introduction to yourself and what you do here at S&P?
Absolutely. So my name is Christian Rivera, for those that don't know who I am yet. I'm an operations manager with S&P Data, and I actually live in Florida, so I'm a U.S. resident, and I currently oversee the telehealth program and Night Capital. I started back in January. I used to have also Lendio and Blue Foundry and Snap as well under my belt. So things have gotten a little bit easier for me, which is a good thing, but exciting times. It's been quite the adventure since I started.
I gotta say, I've heard nothing but positive things about you. I'm sure they're all lies, but...
I was about to say, those are all lies.
You know. All right, let's get to the questions. Hard hitting to start. What degrees do you have, and why? Why do you have so many degrees?
That is wonderful. That is a wonderful question. So that's interesting how these things get around. So yeah, I have my bachelor's in business management. I also have, I wouldn't say so much a degree, but I have my license in broadcast communication. And then I have my degree, yes, as a surgical technician as well. So very, very different realms overall. And the reason for that is that I believe in continuing education, no matter how old you get. And there's something about it for me that I find it thrilling. I love learning. I love being a student and that whole attitude of what am I going to learn and getting nervous and just all the things that come to mind, but then also looking at the ending of it and saying, I'm going to be somehow much more successful than I am now. And most importantly, though, I think I do it because I want to be well-rounded. I want to be diverse. And that means that anybody that I may interact with or encounter in my life, I want to be able to somehow be able to connect with them, even if it's a small piece of that. So there's a term for it, but I am that type of person that I love to know a little bit about everything. My mother will tell you that I asked a lot of questions when I was younger. I was always the why and what you looking at and what are you doing and why are you doing that? So it can be annoying for some, but my intentions are always good. I'm actually really curious and just again, I find everything that we do as a society just fascinating. Like there's so much that every person gives and puts out into the world, and just want to be a part of it. Want to be a part of all the fun and live to the fullest, so to speak, while I'm here.
Wow, that's a great answer. I really like that. I like the idea of wanting to know a little bit of everything so you can connect with everybody on a little aspect, at least somehow. Lovely answer. All right. On to our next one. Do you want to eventually be a motivational speaker?
It's something that I guess I've thought about for sure on a larger scale, so to speak. I have done motivational speaking in local schools here within the community to kids. I love working with kids. I'm a big advocate against child abuse. So I partner hand in hand with advocacy centers out here in Central Florida. And it has definitely crossed my mind. I think that there's a large responsibility that comes with something like that. Even in my position currently, I feel like, you're definitely, as much as you don't want to be that, but you're titled as the role model. And so that's a lot to live up to. There's a lot of expectations with that. And so will I end up doing it? Absolutely. But I think not yet. I think I'm still, although 37 years old, I'm still young. I still have a lot to learn, and I just feel like I want to allow myself to age and grow more in wisdom. But I have different ways of still applying myself as a motivational speaker, even within S&P Data, with whether it's my team leads or my agents. So I still use it.
You could technically consider yourself a motivational speaker, being
Thanks.
an operations manager. That's a very good point. All right, this one was asked by more than one person, and you know what? I was a little upset that I've not been asked this once in my whole time at S&P, and I've been here a little longer than you, sir. Are you single?
I am. I am a single gentleman. Yes, I am. You know, how do I put it? I was married multiple times. For those that want to know about my personal life, look at it. I have a 7-year-old son, which I love so dearly. Have opportunities presented themselves, absolutely, but I am on a life journey, and I think relationships are beautiful. No matter what. My son is my primary focus. He's the center of my universe, so that's where I rather put all that love towards, which I think is important.
Ladies, settle down, all right? The man's not ready. Here's
These questions are something else.
I tell you, and this, like I said, these are the ones I'm just allowed to ask.
Oh my goodness.
Oof. All right, this one was an interesting one. You have grown very quickly within S&P within a very short period of time. How did you find success, and what advice would you give to others that want to follow in your footsteps?
I think the key is that you don't find success, success finds you. What I find is constant learning. I find challenges, and I push really hard to overcome any hurdles that come along my way. So I guess in a way, there's sort of those successes or minimal ones or goals or objectives that I set out for. And I think that that's really the key, is that people tend to want, I remember a conversation, and I won't give a name, but I remember a conversation, and somebody had asked me, I want to be like you, and they asked me this within S&P. I want to be like you. I want to be an operations manager. And I said, okay. And they're like, and I'll do whatever it takes to get there. And I said, okay. I said, so what do you think that is? Well, I'm ready to go. And I'm like, are you ready to go? And my question is not necessarily to deter somebody from the idea that they can achieve such a goal. But based off of their response, you would know if somebody's ready or not. And of course, I have my observations as an operations manager. So I told the person, I said, it's important to move in baby steps. More often than not, we kind of just want to jump to the next goal immediately. But I remember early on struggling because I wanted to be an operations manager. I wanted to be a district manager. I wanted to be so many things that were of a higher executive level. But I never fully took the time until this one supervisor, I never took the time to really think about it, but until this one supervisor sat me down and said, Christian, you want to be successful, but it's all about baby steps. It's all about really mastering everything within where you currently stand. And once you've fully mastered all of that, then moving up to the next level. And so, and that's just a portion of that conversation, but her name was Robin. I'll never forget her name, but it was a pivotal moment in my life because she really changed my perspective overall on what is success and how is that defined. So for me, even when I was a frontline agent, I found success within that. I found that to be fulfilling and rewarding, right? An interaction where I may have diffused, a possible escalation. That was to me the ultimate, success. And so I think when I started really living in the moment, which is like a great personal life lesson too, but when I started really living in the moment and absorbing that rather than focusing on, I want to go over there, I want to be over there, let me focus on what I can do now and how can I be, the strongest team player among my team, because it's not just about lifting yourself, but it's also the rest of the team too, and it's how you apply yourself there. So that was a whole different, ballpark for me, which was, okay, it's not just me. It's really, being a leader is about a team. So how do I put my skill sets into a pool with everybody else to make this, massive ball of success, so to speak? And so, yeah. And, with S&P, it's been a blessing. Thank you to Dan Marcotte and Brian Cato and Rohit, and Craig, and just so many people, Christine Green, Marie Dix, so many people that just, and if I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but I've met so many individuals, along the way. But early on, when Brian Cato came to me, I think it was within my first week, I started as a TL. And I want to say maybe like on my fourth day, hey, what do you think about being an operations manager? And I'm like, oh, I love that. I was an ops manager before in my previous position. So I was that for 8 years. But that's why I says it found me. I was actually more just focused on being successful as a team lead, and what can I bring to this company to what contributions can I bring to make it either more successful or continue with its current success. I'm only a very small fraction of any success that I've had. I think that, whether it starts with my parents that are the foundation that, really instilled my morals and values, all the way up to executives that I currently work with, have really contributed as a whole to my success. And so I'm grateful for that.
Next question. All right. So I heard through the grapevine, you are an actor.
Ah!
Right? Well, and also this question relates to that. So you are an actor. What has been your favorite role that you've played thus far in your career?
Oh my goodness. So many options. Yes, first and foremost, I am an actor. I'm a SAG-AFTRA actor. I've done everything from movies, TV series, theater, you name it. Among many things I've done in the entertainment industry. People don't know that I sing. I've done radio host. I've been a news anchor. So I've done a lot of stuff. But for me in particular, my favorite role, besides being a dad, and that one isn't acting, that just comes naturally, would be, I played Juan Julian. And Juan Julian I was the lead actor for a play at the Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center in Orlando, Florida. And it took place in the 1960s, back when the Cubans in Miami and the whole cigar era was, with the factories, old cigar factories. And that was the greatest experience that I've had as an actor for me. I remember my first moment stepping out on stage, and I had done several films and bigger projects, with A-list actors and everything, but it did not compare to this moment. This moment, I remember standing out, and we had prepped for probably 3 months, and it sounds like a very short time, and it was, but it was long days of rehearsal and just constant going at it and really building the entire story around the character and becoming the character, because you do. And so for me, I put so much work into that character, and I remember taking my breath, and he was very poised and walked a certain way and spoke a certain way. And so I just remember this feeling right when it was time, and I was told, and go, and I went to take that first step, and it's like my body, I felt like there was something that took over. And so the only way that I can explain it is that I became the character Juan Julian fully. I embodied him, to the point that even after we were done, I didn't know how to break out of his posture. He had a very military soldier-like posture to him, which, to walk like that all the time hurts my lower back. But during that time frame, it was phenomenal what I felt, and there was no recollection of Christian. There was no memories or thoughts of me as a person, but rather this individual and living within, the playwright itself. So that would be my greatest, moment as an actor, because, and then of course being in theater, it's live, so you can't mess up. And I had tons, like anybody, tons of butterflies in my stomach. And oh my gosh, am I going to remember? I was a lead actor, no pressure, this playwright was huge for anybody, that wants to look up. It's called Anna in the Tropics. I just, we all delivered, everybody delivered. And I think that helped again too, is that the entire team, put forth their portion of it. And so that really just made it all come to together, so to speak. So, but yeah, it was a cool moment.
Really cool, and I can relate to the live performance thing. I'm a stand-up comedian myself,
Oh, there you go.
So
Yeah, no pressure.
no, there's nothing better than performing live in front of, and I've talked to actors as well. They feel the same thing about theater as opposed to doing film and television.
Yeah. Well, there's no greater practice as an actor for even film, right? Than live theater. That is the greatest way to do it. And you as a comedian know that to be hopeful that the audience will give you a reaction when you're live, right? As a comedian, like that's the greatest gift that you can get because you know it's working. And so for me to step out, and I remember there was dead silence and the spotlight hit me, and I had to remove this hat that was like covering my face. So when I removed the hat, all you heard was in the entire theater. And that's when I was just like, I got them. I
Yeah, yep.
reeled them in enough with what I've done so far, body posture wise, and the look that the rest is should be a piece of cake as long as I don't mess up with the words. And so
Right.
thankfully it came through. But yeah, a lot of pressure with that, and but definitely rewarding.
Yeah, totally. Live audiences. Ugh, I can't wait
I
to.
want to hear some of your stuff. Yeah, I think you must be an amazing comedian. The little bit
Oh,
that I've heard you speak, I'm like, he's great for that stuff.
stop. I'm not that good. I have my moments. Anyways, this is your moment. Let's get back to it. All right. So we know you're an actor. Just found out about that. And again, look them up. But I also found out you are a singer.
Yes.
Let's give a little break here. Plug whatever outlet you have your music out on right now.
Oh my gosh. What are you asking from me? You want me to
Plug
sing
your music. Where can we listen to your music?
So my music, well, you can hear it, I mean, across pretty much anywhere. You can find me on YouTube, but you can definitely find me on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere throughout there you can find it. I haven't released a lot. It's something that you know how life throws something at you and you think that that's what you want to do all your life. So long story short, I always wanted to be a singer. That's the biggest thing that I've worked at the most from the start. Acting was something that just kind of came along at some point, and then I was like, oh, and I didn't become truly passionate about it until I was older. But singing is the one thing that I always wanted to do. Well, my ex-wife, although I love her dearly still, we get along, fantastic. And she is a amazing powerhouse vocalist, Emmy award winning. She does Festival of Lion King, among many, many things. And so it was intimidating. It was intimidating for me. And it really, I got to meet a pool of amazing, talented people. And I guess me being the perfectionist that I am, I went, oh, I need to back up and I need to, focus more on my acting, work a little bit more on my singing. So I really took some time to just kind of, continue working on my craft because I'm a firm believer that if you're going to do something, you got to do it right. So I didn't put out too much out there, but I do a lot of covers and an occasional live here and there. And I do intend at some point, definitely, diving back into it. I think that now as I've aged, it's easier because I'm finding myself in a different way, and so that I think is important to still be unique as even a singer, as a performer overall. And so it's tough when you have an industry that's easy to kind of like put you into this little like pool or this the specific look that they want you to be. And so when you have that kind of pressure, it's like I really need to prepare myself because I don't know if I'm fully, ready for all that. But I want to be as authentic as possible, so if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
someday I'll put out more stuff.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, we all look forward to hearing it. Speaking of, you said covers. This actually is a follow-up. This is a question that got asked. It had been asked to Mr. Brian Cato, so you also get this one. What is your favorite song? And could you please sing the chorus for us?
Oh my goodness. One of the songs that I fell in love with, and so I'm still trying to learn this one. And it's Say You Won't Let Go by James Arthur. Then you smiled over your shoulder. For a minute, I was stone cold sober. I pulled you closer to my chest. And you asked me to stay over. I said, I already told you. I think that you should get some rest. I knew I loved you, man. But you never know. 'cause I played it cool and I was scared of letting go. That's all I'm gonna give you.
Wow. Oh my God. I had butterflies. That made my heart skip. That was beautiful. Oh my God.
Thanks. That was like, oh wow, I didn't warm up or anything, but okay.
Oh my goodness. All right.
I wasn't expecting that. I would have done proper warm-ups for that stuff.
I think I'm just going to put that on loop for the interview. We're going to get so many hits on that.
Oh my goodness.
Damn. Wow. Thank you. That was beautiful. All right. You know what? I've eaten up so much of your time. I'm going to do one more. This was, there's a bunch, but I like this question. I think this is really interesting. We'll see what answer you give for this. So you can only have one of these. Only get one. All right. That's the setup. You only have one. What would you rather win? An Oscar, a Grammy, or the lottery?
I would rather, well, see, that's funny because you don't know how much is a lottery. Like, it's a great question. Although it would be an honor to be recognized by your peers, right? That would always be amazing.
Yeah.
I would say the lottery, assuming that the lottery always has a couple million in it, only because I would be able to reinvest. So one of my dreams has always been, if I were to win the lottery, I always say, I'm going to build this hotel structure. I'm going to start here in Orlando, in Florida. And I'm going to build this hotel structure. And this hotel is going to have a bunch of different teachers and obviously like a hotel, many rooms. And so the goal with this hotel is that it's going to be a 6-month opportunity for homeless individuals, where they would not only have a roof over their head during that time frame, but that I would be able to provide them instructors that would help upskill them in a 6-month time frame, and with hopes of bettering their future going forward. So the hope is that we would strengthen them enough and get them, groomed and all these things, and provide them an opportunity to step out into the world successful and setting them up for success, rather than having them go out and just not be fully prepared and then failing again. Because I think, although with every failure there's growth and new opportunities that come about, and you become stronger, there is a point where it beats down on you so much that you start to lose hope. And so I would hope to instill some of that back within them and kind of bring that spark back for them, that it's not over, right? The fight's not over. And so that's one of the things that I want to do with money, and that would probably be my priority. And then of course, helping children out. I probably go broke so fast because I wouldn't invest any of it on myself. I'm happy. I could live out of a box, if we didn't have to pay taxes, I would just do things for free left and right. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's probably would be my choice, because the rest of it is just, it looks pretty, but I think what's rewarding is what I hold in here in my heart. So that for me is much more rewarding than a statue.
Wow, that's absolutely beautiful answer. I think if I had to pick the right answer, that would be it. That's just, Christian, that's just absolutely wonderful. And I think that's a beautiful way to end this. Thank you so very much for doing Ask Us Anything. It was really nice to get to know you a little bit more.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And for all those that I guess voted me in, I appreciate it. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy that you're interested in my life, both professionally and personally. I guess.
Yeah, might be a little too interested in your personal life, but
oh my goodness. But you know what? All the love to everybody. Give the best of you, and what you contribute is enough. And eventually the pieces of the puzzle come together to just make a awesome dream come to fruition.
Once again, Christian, thank you again so very much. Absolutely fascinating. This guy, he's going places. He's gonna be taking over this whole company. So get to know him, get to love him. Thank you once again, Christian, and thank you everybody for tuning in.